have a little frog mug. There's my frog. Yeah. Frogs are good. I have an ex-boyfriend who hated him, so I have an extra love for him just so that it makes up for his hatred. Because, we've got to do our part. So how are you, Miles? It's so nice to meet you.
Tell me how wonderful you are. I'm very excited by this. This is absolutely just wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm having a lot of fun. This is something that I've been a closet giver all my life.
I think we could just go with this as we're doing it, because this is all fun. Oh, yeah. I see you've got a shelf there.
That's a Magrab. I'm a student of the Kesh Foundation.
Now tell me all about that, because some people think it doesn't work.
Oh, it works. Oh, it works wonderful. Yeah, we've had
we want to hear all about that.
Huh?
We want to hear all about that.
Okay. I'll tell you as much as I can. I'm a student, so I will tell you everything I know.
We want
but you don't know much.
We want you to tell me everything you know.
Okay, dokie.
This is great.
You can know this. I would love to share that information because it's amazing. I've been waiting for this. I told my friend Jack. Jack is who I live with. He lives upstairs. I have a little apartment downstairs, and he's 75. And I met him probably about 6 years ago, and he's amazing. I was sort of homeless because I lost all my art to wait, let me breathe. I just put up that curtain, and plus this is a lot to talk about. I have to tell you, it's a little bit excuse me if I'm a little bit overwhelmed at times, because I feel like this is just huge given the circumstances of everything.
Well, we'll find out about all these circumstances.
Yeah. But
this is really good. I love this. You see, a lot of the basis stuff is also heavy,
Oh, I know.
To have basis art and to have you on this with your art and your creativity and vitality and everything is just great.
I can't wait to tell you what I know, because it's just exciting. I mean, I hear all of the I've listened to just about all of your interviews, just about. I don't know if I missed a few, but I've pretty much tried to keep myself up to date with like Carrie Cassidy and a couple of the other big names that I feel are big names that you guys just seem to have it all together. You've got a lot of people that are coming in that are speaking so much truth that it just all makes sense. Everything links.
Well, we just did a little bit of an update with Lisa Williams on Basis 1, which is going back 22 years.
Wow. Wow.
So that's fantastic.
That's amazing. It really is.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Let's introduce yourself. Who are you?
Okay.
And just tell me all about yourself.
Well, as far as targeted, I have no idea if I'm targeted. I think for the most part, I can just chalk it up to life circumstance. It's a lot of life circumstance, so it seems a little uncanny that I would constantly be knocked out of my dreams, so to speak. So, but it's a strange thing because I'm learning things in physics that correspond to all of this, and it almost makes sense that my intention would land me here. It's so wild. It's such a story. It's such a freaking story. Let me think here. Where to even start? Where do I start?
Okay. You're an artist.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm an artist.
So, tell me about your wonderful art.
Well, I've been an artist for as long as I can remember. I don't know I've tried everything to not do it at some point, and it was just because of the pressure. There's a lot of pressure when you're an artist and people want you to draw the things that they want to see. So they give you these ideas and you don't want to. I don't know. It's a strange thing. Like in my classes, we have 6 hours a day. So I go to class 6 hours a day, European time. So I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning till 8. Then I take my daughter to school and sleep during the day. And start all over. But it's during my class I can paint and do different things, like just build projects and sculpt and do whatever I need to. But it's an amazing mix of people. I mean, we talk about just so many different things. And I should go back to the beginning. I have to warn you, I'm a bit of a ping pong ball. That makes any sense? It's like playing a game of ping pong when you listen to me sometimes. I bounce all over the place. Well, so in being an artist and having this this drive, I've had this really strong creative drive to make things happen, but it's been more of a message than I'm going to paint a pretty picture for your wall. And I can remember starting to do that. I don't even think I started to do that. I think I just did it. I was just doing it. That was my way to show what emotions I had inside me. And then to figure it out. So I figure out things on canvas. I figure out things in sculpture. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll listen to whatever comes to mind. Like it could be anything from an equation to some sort of well, you know how you do your research. One thing leads to another. You find one thing out, and then you think, oh, wow, that's directly linked to this. I know it, so I'm going to investigate this. It's the exact same thing in my art. It's almost like an investigation into soul. So I find one thing out about, wow, that was a soul journey, and that taught me this lesson. So what does that say? What does Plato say about that? What does this person say about that? So I go into different philosophies, and then that leads me into different things. Sometimes a movie pops up. Sometimes a book pops up. Sometimes it's poetry. Sometimes it's a dream that I had. Like it just all links together to put the puzzle pieces together, and it's been phenomenal because every time I make a piece of art, sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. And this is linked to an angel experience that I had. But because I can it's so close in feeling, I guess. It's that empathetic feeling where you connect with whatever situation you're connecting to on almost above your self level, so that you're looking at a general point of view, or you're seeing the point of view from different hearts, feeling it from different hearts. So then you get an overall view, and you can extend this overall view from what I've been discovering to a very large area. Did you hear that one, Rupert Sheldrake? It was a band from TED, where he coined the term. Oh, it was hilarious. I mean, he was just describing how there's no constants. There's no constants. There can't be anything as such as a constant. We're creative beings, and we're plasma. We mix. There's almost no way that you can make the math fit. I mean, you can gel with it. You can try and fit it into certain areas, and that's what they've done. But math doesn't fit in the reality. I'm a little bit more on the out there side of things. I think when people start to talk to me, they realize a little bit more. But yeah. And when I was in the art business, this was a real problem because my agents saw this, and they didn't see what was in here, and I tried so hard to get through to some of them, but they're just like they were trying to make money, so they had a one-sided view and a one-directional point, and I couldn't get in there with any of my creative ideas at all. It's that, that directional energy. It is. That's that arrow. Wait, let me see on this side. That one. I'll send you pictures that are more clear after this. I appreciate it too, because this has got to come out. You don't know how hard I have tried. I wrote a book. I did all this art. I never shut up. Okay. But yeah, so everything has had this purpose. And it's been kind of crazy, like even when I was when I graduated high school, I moved down to Florida for a while with my dad. I got into trouble down there because I met a guy that was dealing drugs out of my car. It happened to be my dad's car, so it got confiscated, and then I ended up in prison and had a yeah. And then I had I think it was 1.5 years or 2 years of probation after that. So I finally got out of Florida after that, and well, I mooned it on the way out. I'm sorry I did that, but I did. But I love Florida now. But I left there. I went up to me and my brother drove across the country with a ferret in a painted car. I had this little Datsun B210 that I bought from my cousin for $150, and there's rust spots all over it. So I painted gremlins on it, eating the rust spots, and we drove across the country in this car. Oh, it was so great.
I'd like to know, after you painted gremlins on it, did the
Yeah.
rust go away?
I think it was better. It didn't really rust through that paint. I put it on pretty thick, though. We have so much information that comes in on a daily basis, and it just is so much to... It's connecting, though. It's connecting, and it's just fascinating. It's fascinating beyond belief, Miles. I know that you understand some things about physics, so I'm excited.
No, but this is fascinating. You're an artist, yet you're doing a science.
Because, okay, well, should I get to that?
You're really absolutely fascinating. I really love this.
Well, it was always a fascination in my life because people kept, like I grew up in a religious family, so there were these ideals that were put in front of me, and I didn't really understand them because I didn't understand why I had to accept a person as I didn't know what they meant by the Savior, and I do know that it's just a question. So I always had these questions, and I had to have them answered. So I would investigate on my own, and it was through different things. I remember as a kid, it was a lot through my dreams. I mean, I remember trying to convince my mom that I could fly. I told her that I could fly, and I was convinced, and she just looked at me in a very caring way and said, I wouldn't try that because you will fall.
I think that was a good thing. I think the parent was doing a good thing then by dissuading you. Yeah.
Yes.
But what age were you at that time?
But the thing was, what happened was, I don't know how soon afterwards, but I had a dream, and I went to go fly in my dream like I always did. I ran across the golf course because we lived on the side of this golf course that was, my family built it. So we did all kinds of ruckus on this golf course. We ran golf carts all over. We ran them into the pond. We did. Oh man, we corned people. Have you ever heard of corning? It's Ohio. It's an Ohio thing. But anyway, now I forgot where I was.
Oh, we lived beside a golf course. My dad.
Oh yeah.
My dad's grandfather, or my grandfather, he was mad at the golf. And they converted, they had a big farm, but it wasn't big enough. It was only 39 acres.
Yeah.
So they converted half of it into a golf course. And when I was a kid, I used to play golf, but I was very bad at golf and basically didn't play golf anymore. Everybody else in the family played golf.
My whole family's just heavily into golf too. I enjoyed it, but I'm not competitive at all. So,
Well, that's great.
it,
You enjoyed it. That's great.
yeah. I mean, I made a hole in one once, but it was just it's
That
okay. This is another thing that's weird about creativity, because I'll explain it to you in this story that I did while I was skiing. I'd never been skiing before, ever in my life. Okay, and I was in high school, and these two guys took me up to go skiing, really good friends, and they took me up to the top of the bunny hill, and they just said, okay, here's how to stop. You put your skis together, you do this, blah, blah, blah. So they shoved me down the hill. I looked over, and I saw this person that was really skiing, like just really just in the position. And
Yeah.
so I thought, okay, I'll do that. And I want to go faster. So I did. I went faster. And all of a sudden, the ski lodge was coming, and I looked over and I saw the person go swoosh, and they stopped. So I went swoosh, and I stopped. And the guys came flying down the hill, and they're like, "You're going up to the next level. You've been skiing before. You lied." The rest of the time, I rode my butt. But the creative juice, when you get a hold of it, it's like a basketball player. It's like a connection that you just can't fathom. You can almost do anything. Like it's right there. And I know a lot of athletes and a lot of like artists, and everyone really can connect with this. Even a plumber, when you have those little moments when you're sitting there twisting a pipe and you go, oh, and your gut lights up and you go, I want to do that. You change the pipe whatever way you want to do. Like it's an art, and this art is in our heart.
This is
So
a joy for me. I hope this is just this creativity. This is the most wonderful thing about human beings.
oh, it's a wonderful thing for all of us, though.
Yes.
I mean, people don't understand when I say, but you have it too, because they think that I mean that they can paint like me. I worked hard for this. Like I studied I used to wake up like 3 hours early for work, and then study anatomy, do sketches of people, do sketches of just the motion of people. I did, I just studied hard. I used to sneak into college because I couldn't afford it. So, but the professors never minded. They didn't really, they liked that someone was there just to learn. Really. But I did whatever I could to learn whatever I could. And it was a lot.
That is totally wonderful. That's
It's
just
passion,
amazing.
what
Because
it
then
is.
you're loving the learning. You're loving the excitement.
And what what came to mind, or what comes to mind, there are questions that I had to ask myself throughout life, because all these questions started to come up. Because when you're an artist and you can do, even semi-amazing things, you can get some attention coming at you. And sometimes you can take that attention the wrong way and get an ego. So
Yeah.
you have to do a constant check on where your heart is and why you're doing the things that you're doing. And this has been a lifelong search for me, because I want to know that I'm coming from the right place, because I'm learning, especially in science now. I've known this all my life, but it's coming through in freaking science. That's awesome, because I knew it. But we are creators.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
In a
so
heavy
wonderful.
level degree.
That's just the joy.
So I am learning this art of magnetic and gravitational energy, and how to work with it and put it in my art to create the joy that that I experience. I've even, when I brought up to my class today, for the last 6 months, I've been collecting tears of joy. So every time I cry, I have this little bottle, this little tear bottle, and I just wipe it up. And they've been amazing tears, because I've gone through just a wacky transition over the past 6 months. So what I did was, you can take this salt water and you can make a GANS with it. by adding caustic. So you add a hot caustic to the tears. I did this, so now I have this tear gans. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these tear gans, and I'm going to add it to my paintings. I'm going to dry the gans up in dry form, and then mix it with linseed oil and use it in very special moments, because it took me a long time to do this.
Now that's the chemistry of the paint.
That's the chemistry of the paint and the field energy. There's a field energy in our emotions. And I'm figuring that tears gather many emotions because they're just filled with it. They're seeping out. It's the overflow. It's the excess coming out. So it's got to be amazing.
It is amazing. And it's an amazing thing to do. And it's beautiful.
I'm trying, and anyone else is welcome to try too. I think it's an amazing thing to do. I'm being very selective with my tears, because I've cried some tears of selfish.
Now, how do you balance your heart with your ego? This is a wonderful thing for me to engage with you like this, because I'm an engineer, but I love the art. I love art. I want art.
It's been a journey for me. That's I wrote my book. When I was starting to write this book, I'm in AA. I'm an alcoholic, and we do the step work. So I was on my fourth step, I think, where on the fourth step you have to sort of list the things, your wrongs that you feel wronged by, and or wronged that you did to someone else. So you start to list these things. Well, I love to write. I love to write. It's like painting for me. Like when I was writing my book, I had to wake up. I would wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, same time as I do for my class now. That's kind of funny. But yeah, I'd wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, work till my daughter woke up, and then sometimes when she would wake up, I would be so into it. I wouldn't even have realized the time went by, and I'm just, and she'd come down the steps, and she'd go, "Mom," and I go, you can't stop the stuff when it's coming through. You just, and she got used to it. She, bless her pea-picking heart, I would go and hug her afterwards and say, "Thank you so much. I just needed to get that out." But it's so powerful. You just get this rush of stuff that you just have to spill, and it's been amazing. I mean, since I wrote the book, I've got another 8 of them in my head. It's just because of all the information that's been coming in. And I don't even have time to write, so it's going to just have to be brought out on video or something like that. I don't know what to do. Because it's fast.
How would you work it into video? How would you get your ideas together? How would you do that?
How would I do it? I would just put a video camera in here and just be ready to flip it on every time I get one of those moments. You know what happens? I go upstairs and I talk to Jack. I have sessions with Jack. And when I have sessions with Jack, it's usually just this, we come up with these amazing solutions to life.
Who's Jack?
Jack is my 75-year-old guy that
Okay.
I'm a caretaker for him. I was gonna go to school to be a caretaker, but he makes too much. He doesn't make very much at all, but he makes too much. So he can't really afford to pay me, but he's paying me anyway. He lets me live here for free. So I can go to school, I can give away my art, and I can make a big difference in the world and feel completely safe and peaceful about it. Thank you, Jack.
That is just totally fantastic.
It is. It is.
This is so wonderful.
I have to tell you the whole story. It's so crazy.
Tell me the stories.
So okay, I was fumbling around and getting in trouble and getting arrested and all this other kind of crap, and I couldn't even hold down a real job. I got a job at a grocery store after that for about 2 months. I was making employee of the month because I goof around with everybody, and so but my probation officer decided to stalk in there, and I had lied on my application, so I got fired.
Oh
yeah.
dear.
Yeah, so I decided right then and there, well, they can't fire me if I work for myself. So I just decided I was going to do my art, and that's it. And I did that for a while, but I was young and dumb, and I decided to, I escaped and went down to Key West, and after I painted this mobile dog grooming van, I went down to Key West, and I think I drank it all away in one night. I don't know, I'm not sure, but we... But I had a lot of fun, we just, I had a really amazing life. After that, after Florida, I moved back up here, became a encyclopedia salesperson door to door. That was really interesting because we worked with military families, so I would go door to door to military families. I learned a great deal about selling. That's
a good thing.
Lesson. Yeah. But anyway, but I love books, so it was just an easy thing for me to do. I talked about that's my clock.
That sounds like a really good clock.
That's a robin. It's supposed to be a robin. I think it's done.
And that means it's 1 o'clock where you are.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, yes.
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. Are you okay? You're
fine? Everything is fine.
Okay. You just tell me if you're tired. Okay. So, where was I?
You were selling encyclopedias in the military and learning so much about selling.
Yeah, and I met a guy selling encyclopedias, and he was a single military guy. I ended up moving in with him. He was fantastic, but he was so busy in his schoolwork that, things didn't work out. But what happened during that relationship was really crazy at the end. It's my Valentine's Day story. It's in my book. But I ended up slitting my wrist on Valentine's Day on accident.
Well, I'm glad it was an accident, for Christ's sake.
With a chainsaw. No less.
Chainsaws and wrists are not compatible things to be together.
No, it's not recommended at home.
No, I would definitely not recommend that. Chainsaw, big, nasty. Wrists, lovely, delicate, lovely things. Best keep them joined onto the hands.
What happened was I was carving ice that day. I had written him a letter before I left because we were supposed to have this romantic weekend, and it didn't end up working out because he broke up with me, and so I was distraught. I was really distraught, and I went to my coach, and I just said, because it was a team thing that was going on. It was a team ice event. So I went to him, and I just said, this just happened. I can't do this. There's just no way. Well, he knew better, and he knew that whenever I needed to get out of myself, if I went into a piece of art, I was just fine. And I would have been just fine. I'm sure I would have, but an accident happened. And when I brought my chainsaw down through a big piece of ice, a lot of times you have to save the piece of ice that's falling. So I went to grab the piece of ice. The fulcrum came up and hit my wrist, and I thought, that kind of was a tickle, but nothing big. So I just went on carving. Well, someone in the audience screamed because they saw what happened. And I thought, okay, and someone grabbed my wrist and threw it up in the air, and then they took off my glove, and then I looked at it, and the tendons were moving, and I just thought, I guess it's hurt. But it didn't hurt at all. So when they took me into the ambulance, I finally started to cry, and then I was laughing at the same time, Miles, because I wasn't crying because it hurt, or anything. I was crying because I started thinking about my damn breakup again. So it just, it made me laugh. I was laughing and crying all the way in the ambulance saying, this is so funny. I can't believe this. But there've been these funny circumstances that have happened throughout my life that are just, they're funny stories, but they add up to who I am. So I wrote about these different stories in my book, and these stories, they go into my art because they're me, and they're lessons that I learned through everything, because they all connect. If I really think back on just what that whole thing was, it was just adding up to a whole Valentine's Day story that has been now almost completed because I released my art on Valentine's Day, and it's heart art, all that good stuff. But it, one time I even got a giant heart in the sky just because, it was Valentine's Day, and or it was the day before Valentine's Day, and I was headed back from Key West. I was going to get on a plane back from Key West because I was down there doing a show in a gallery. And I was talking to some of my friends about something that had happened to me with my daughter while I lived in Pittsburgh. I told them that one time when I was real busy that day and I had to run everywhere, and she wanted to go to the playground real bad. And I was just doing too many things. I had my top on my Jeep down, and it started to thunderstorm. So I looked over at her, and she just gave me this look like, oh. And I just thought, you know what? I said, you know what? Let's pray for a hole in the sky. And she started laughing, and she said, okay, innocent child, okay, Mom. So we drove through the rain. I had to put my top up really quick, drove through the rain, got all the way almost home, turned around the corner to get to the playground that we always went to, and wouldn't you know, there's this giant freaking hole planted above the playground. This beautiful hole above the playground. We only had, maybe 2 minutes. It was long enough, maybe a minute. We ran in, we slid down a slide. It started coming down really hard, and then we laughed and ran off. By the time we got to our door, it had stopped raining again so that we could get inside. So,
that's really interesting, because when there were circle makers, I'm in the area where they make crop circles. And when it was pouring with rain, and these circle makers wanted to make their crop circle, and where they wanted to make it, there was no rain at all. It was dry as a bone. Yet it was raining all around them. And what's more, they got all the time they needed to make their crop circle, as if something saying, yes, you can make this crop circle here. And they thank when some of the types of circle makers, they actually ask permission, and they engage with the beings which are there, and they make the crop circle, and nobody can see them make it, even if they got cameras on them and things. They just get covered with a little bit of mist, and they can work away. And it's pouring with rain, and they finished the crop circle, and they left the area, and then it started raining. Because the mud of the crop of the land, if you're making the circle, the formation, it gets very, very quickly. Your feet get all full of mud. It really cakes up like a brick underneath your boots and things. And there's no way. The people were saying, "Oh, they couldn't have made this." It was, But this is the story. Where they were going to make this formation, it didn't rain, even though it was pouring everywhere. Heavy, heavy rain. So there. So this is an example, just like yours.
Wow. Okay, here was another one this was the Valentine's Day one that when I was in Key West. Let me get a drink of water. Oh, I have tea. I was going to tell you, I put hazelnut.
Tell me about your tea.
What?
What's your special tea?
It's linden tea. Or Tila linden. It's Spanish linden tea.
Oh, very good. Okay. Well, tell me about your
Californian Spanish linden tea. Wait, you have to see this. Oh, I can't show packages, probably. I was going to show you a little package.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you can.
Oh, I can? Okay.
Sure you can.
Because they're cool. I love these people. They have all these different little herbs and spices, but they're a little company out of California.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, it was cool. It's good tea. I put hazelnut flavoring in it. It's Americanized.
Oh, right. When they say it's Americanized, it's
Yeah. Americanized London tea, if you will.
yeah. Tell me, I love this.
So, where was I? Let me think here. We were at
You're making tea, and you had Valentine's Day again.
Okay, yeah. So, I was telling some friends about this story in the playground. And we were on our way to dinner, and they said, "What are you going to wish for this Valentine's Day, Colleen?" And I said, "Oh, that'd be neat to get a big heart in the sky." And I just thought that would be cool. Well, we looked that evening, and there were no hearts. And that's just strange because you'd think that, that's a pretty simple shape that you would see in the sky normally. There was nothing. Couldn't find anything. So I went to sleep, went to the beach the next day, went to get on the plane. I was late, so I ran down the runway in my bathing suit, threw on my clothes at the end of the runway, and there happened to be a steward there who was watching. And he said, "Where are you sitting?" And I said, "In the back." And he said, "Let me see, I'm working first class. Let me see." Anyway, I ended up getting a first class seat there, coming back, because there happened to be one open. I don't know. So it was right by the window. I don't drink, but he offered me French champagne because they'd just been over in France, and I had Hershey's Kisses and, the hot towel treatment and all the nice stuff. And I went to look out the window and realized that today, I didn't realize it right then, but I realized that when I made my heart wish, it was for Valentine's Day, right? So I look out my window and I'm all relaxed and everything, and there's this giant hole in the sky. It was a heart. And it's just this giant hole. It was beautiful, pink clouds all the way around, and this heart. Now the steward explained to me that was from a plane that comes crashing through the clouds. It happens very rarely, but it does happen, to where the clouds have to be a certain specific whatever they are, and then the plane comes up.
It's the wind vortices at the end of each window, at the end of each wing. They have a spinning vortice, and that will spin, maybe make sort of two bits of a heart.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it could have been, but it was awesome.
But it doesn't matter what
However, it was done.
It doesn't matter what made it. It's the fact it's there, just like
Right.
the crop circles.
Yeah, my point exactly. And these things, I don't know if I just notice a lot of them because I really love God a lot. So we're good buddies. And my definition is really just our creator, the one that is the all-encompassing source, like a love, a pure love. And that's the way I feel. I mean, I never really pray right. I go up there and do circles around them of light, when I'm really happy, and give him kisses. I play tricks on him too, and just sneak up and go, boo, just to see why not? He has a sense of humor. He's got to. He made us. Wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, that's creativity.
Yeah.
That's happiness.
Yeah. I'm sure that he loves our playful spirit. I think he wants to see a lot more of that. Really. But there are ways that I know that I've dealt with some pretty serious business in my own life that have helped me through. Like a lot of the step work, a lot of just the writing and the creating has it figures it out for me and pulls me through. Even now, I can go back on paintings and look at them and go, holy crap, that's exactly what that is. You know, like there's one that's called Eve. Well, Eve is about the fall. Eve is a painting that is a woman that's sort of leaning back and she's almost going through a little fire portal. But it's about that, let me see what's on the other side of this. It's the curiosity, it's the creative spirit that just kind of veers off. Like, we can veer off a little bit too far. And when we do, we can get depressed because we can let things in. When a creative goes off too far, what we do is we over-empathize. We take in the whole planet, take in the whole world. Everything is going on. Oh, crap. Where did all this stuff come from, and how did I wake up here? You know, like, what's going on? This is what a lot of people are going through right now.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I mean, when I started to really find out that this stuff was real, whoa! You know, like, what? I mean, I've lived a life inside my head because I couldn't express the stuff that was on my brain. I knew time didn't exist. I knew this stuff in a strange way, though. It was like I understand this, but why? Why do I understand this? Why do I have to be in this place where no one really gets what I mean? You know, and it's been sort of that way. And let me explain the way that has worked. Like, just in the art business alone, a lot of artists were directed, okay? And we were put into this box of creativity that somebody else puts together. And, you know, creative ideas are great to collaborate with. I love collaboration. I would love to collaborate with every artist on the planet, really. But collaborate and dictate are two different freaking things. You know, like, so, and being a very soft spirit, I think, in the past, right now, I've got a lot of male energy that just, it helps, it balances. I have to keep it balanced, you know, and the way that you keep it balanced is to, you know, you can veer off the path, you can go into the creative spirit, you can see the things that you want to see and go into those worlds and be okay with it, but you have to stay directed. If you're not up and moving, you can go too far off the path and get depressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
You are an inspiration.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You are such an inspiration.
I hope so.
Yes.
That's what I really hope, because I wish, you know, like, there's so many things that just come to me that go, oh, that's exactly what that is, you know, like, but it's not a judgment call. Like, I don't ever, it's never calling anybody anything, because people have it within themselves to be themselves, and I've seen it sometimes when, oh, Miles, like, I have to tell you, kind of like where this creative power started getting really, really crazy just over the past couple of months, because my life up until this point, just remind me of the bear. I'll come back to the bear.
The bear.
My life up until this point has just been the life of an artist. I mean, when I slit my wrist on Valentine's Day and I went back home, he felt sorry for me for about a day, and then then I had to live with him for a little while because I didn't have enough money to move out. So I called up some friends in Jamaica and said, please, can you please just set me up on any kind of tour? I'll ice carve, I'll do tallow work, I'll travel wherever you want me to go. I just need out. I need a home. I don't have a home. So they gave me a home for 2 months. I traveled from one resort to the next, and being young and a drunk a little bit, I drank the whole time. Had a blast. I feel very bad about maybe some of my actions while I was down there, and please forgive me, any of the people that, stuff happens. But I made my way around the island, got to the end, and at the very last resort, I met my first daughter's dad. And it's just so funny. There's so many ironies in life. If we just stop and go back and take a look. But anyway, he he was a nice carver and chef. Thank goodness for that because I'm a horrible cook.
Oh
So,
my God.
oh, I am. I get impatient with it. I have too many other things.
Art, but you can't create cuisine?
I know. I know, and I've experienced it. And I would love to. I think it's more of a. My focus is in the. If I go too far with it, like I mean, shoot, Miles, I'd love to learn music. I think I could write a pretty awesome symphony. Like just by what I did with that book. It came together in a symphony. It sounded like music to me. So I know that, the tap is always open to us. Anything that we want to do is open. When I was with Eric, okay, Eric is my first daughter's dad. We did a lot of traveling. When he first met me, I was working while I was in Jamaica, I had a job doing a sculpture for 7 Congressional Medal of Honor winners and Colin Powell. And I had I got this job because I was doing sketching models at a photographer's studio who happened to have top military clearance. And Colin Powell was coming into town and they needed a sculptor to do a little pin. But I talked him into this huge sculpture instead of a pin because I thought, what? I'm going to sculpt for people who've made decisions like that in their life? And I'm going to get that juice? What? I can't do a little pin. I have to do something bigger that I can investigate, so my mind was on that. I didn't really care how much it cost to do it. I was going to get it done. I wanted to do it. So I sold it to the guy with oh, sure, I can get it done for that much. No. I could not get it done for that much. No. Even the guy that made the mold, I couldn't even do a bronze of it because the bronze was way too expensive. I had a $10,000 limit, and I had to make 13 copies of this sculpture. So I learned it all. I learned all the foundry work, all the everything, this wonderful man. I wish I could remember his name because I'd love to give him a plug because he's just amazing. Shoot. Oh, he's in Ohio. He's a mold making company. But anyway,
how big was this sculpture? Can you show a reference of it?
I can send you a picture. Yeah, but so these soldiers. Anyway, let me go back to the beginning of the story. So he recommended me because he had a couple pieces of sculpture, and I had just started sculpting. I was not sculpting very much at all. So he had these couple pictures that he showed him, and then he said, well, let me meet her. So I went and met him. He told me about the plaque. I came back the next day with this giant drawing and said, no, I have to do this. And he said, well, okay, if you could do it for under $10,000, then we can do it. And then this thing went on. Anyway, I ended up getting it done very last minute. Like, I drove in there, and the guy that was putting on the show was so mad at me. He deleted me from even getting to meet Colin Powell because he was just so mad. So the only thing that I got to do was shake Colin Powell's hand and say, hey, how you doing? And then he went off. He decided he loved his sculpture. He told them that he did not want them to mail it to him, that he would take it on his jet right now. So he took it. The rest of the active valors, oh man, my mom came and sat at the table with us, and we got to sit with the wives of the guys, and they were telling us stories like, oh, he can't even button his shirt in the morning, or just cute stories that wives just tell, because they're just funny. But so he and these husbands, they were just so adorable, just sitting back, just watching their wives, and just let them talk. And then one of them even had a leopard skin, or a leopard, not maybe leopard skin, but it was a leopard tuxedo. They just had great personalities. But the things that they had done, holy crap! So I took all the stories. When I was given the job, I asked for all the stories of men And I took every single one of their stories and I sculpted a piece of that story into the base of the sculpture. So there's their act of valor that's sculpted into that piece. Plus,
Wow.
I was getting visions, so I was sculpting all these visions into the base as well. So there's all of these different little stories of acts of valor that I was picking out of my head.
That is really fantastic. I mean, that is a huge thing. That's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea.
I love doing it. I mean, it teaches me so much because I get to see the world. I'm going to tell you something about the bear in a minute, and then it'll bring it all together. But so anyway, I did this sculpture, and my favorite part, I'll give you a close-up of this, is this soldier, and he's hugging this little girl before he goes off to war. And it's my favorite part of the sculpture. I mean, everything else is cool, but I love that part. The eagle is a little bit clunky because I had to use plastic to do this. If I could have used bronze, it would have been phenomenal. But anyway, yeah, that was my first sculpture commission ever. That's pretty cool. That's pretty darn cool. But
Oh, that's cool, beyond cool. That is just, Colin Powell.
yeah, and these guys to get that kind of juice right off the bat. Whoa, that sent me on. Well, the very first sculpture I did, it was called The Fall, and I was with the boyfriend the chainsaw boyfriend, and he didn't used to listen to me very much because he was doing his schoolwork. It wasn't his fault. He's a wonderful person, but he was just heavy into school. So anyway, I would sit and sculpt or paint, there. And I had picked up this stuff called Super Sculpey, and I was working it, and this belly of a woman formed. And right then, Peter Gabriel's song came on, In Your Eyes, and her face, everything just started to form, her head, everything just started to come out of the clay, and I was just crying because I knew this was me. I knew that I could do this on this level that was so heavy and so light. It had every bit of my emotion just packed into it like a fine sausage. So I found this new love in sculpture, and I was ready to go to work. I worked at an art store as an art clerk. So I was ready to go to work the next day and sell all my paints and buy clay. I was on it. I was like a rocket. So then my sculpture, I started taking off with that. I got into ice sculpture because somebody came into the store with the ice sculptors are crazy. They're so awesome. This ice sculptor came walking into the store with this golf bag, right? And he was looking for a new tool for ice. So I asked him about it, and I happened to be working for a chef company at the same time that knew him. That's another little weird circumstance. But anyway, I had met him, talked to him about it, was interested in it, and then had done a job for this other chef company called More Than Gourmet. And because I was doing side jobs while I was working this other one, because our store was about to close. We were run out of business because it was just a family-owned store, and the big stores were coming in to knock us out. So, but at the end, we got like 90% off of all of our art supplies, so I am supplied for almost life. Well, maybe not, because I'm using it up pretty quick. So, but anyway, so so I was learning a lot just at this art store. Just at the art store, I learned so much. And then this ice sculpting and the sculpting career was starting to take form, and I got into that. And then the Colin Powell thing happened, and then I as soon as I met my daughter's dad and moved back to Pittsburgh.
Is this your second daughter?
My first daughter.
First daughter, yeah.
Yeah. So I moved back to Pittsburgh with him and became a part of an artist co-op over there called the Brew House. I love that place. They saved my butt so many times. Oh, I got behind on rent like I don't even know how many times, and they just let me slide so that I had a place to live. But Anyway, I got pregnant with my first daughter, and right about that time, I think that he was sort of on his way out. Something wasn't mixing. I was drinking. I was drinking a lot. I'm an alcoholic, and I was drinking with him, and we were just partying a lot, just doing a lot of things. And he was trying to slow down with things, and then it made me feel guilty, so I would hide it and lie. And that's not good to do in a relationship.
No, it's not.
No. So, these things we learn.
Well, could we just
Now
hold it there?
I don't like to lie at all.
If we just hold it there, I will go and run and change tapes. If you want to put your tea on again, I'll be about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. This is fascinating. This is beautiful. This is an inspiration.
I'm so glad. That's the way I would love it to be. I want to, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to tell people that they've got it.
Great.
Big time. So, let's do it.
So here's Puppet. We're about to unveil her. I have not even opened this lid. I just wanted to catch this moment on tape. Come here.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Hello, Mama.
oh,
Hello,
oh.
Mama. You made it just fine. Holy crap, you made it beautiful,
Yeah,
you sweet thing.
There you go.
You made it with flying colors, didn't you? You did. Oh, grace to you, Walter. Now, I've heard that there is one break, because Walter was so gracious to let me know
Okay, I got a little
that
bit of
there
it.
was a
Yeah,
mistake. So, I'm anxious to find out where this break is, because I have to finish this sculpture,
Alright.
which I will be explaining to you, because this is going to be one heck of an update. As a matter of fact, I think you guys should know by now that I am not out for self-promotion at all. I have no, and this sculpture is going to explain that perfectly well. But I do want this video to get out to every single being on this planet. I mean, to the trees, to everyone. If it can go that far.
Yes, yes.
Because the meaning of this sculpture has so much to do with every single being on this planet. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna. Did they see it? Did they see it? Could it be? Could it be? Yes! Shit. Sorry. Bad language.
It's the head?
It's the head.
Oh my gosh, I was worried about that, yes.
Is the perfect part to be broken.
Is it
Isn't
really?
it? Oh, to the head? To the head.
Yes.
She's no longer attached. Look, her pineal gland connection is
Yes.
broken.
Yes, yes. I know.
Broken like, ooh.
Wow.
Ooh, what I can do is I can weld a piece that looks like it's ripping or it's been cut. I'll just weld one tiny little piece like it's ripped or it's cut. And I don't mean to call my stuff amazing. I'm not the best artist in the world. There are so many that have done just such amazing works. I'm in awe with every single one of them. A lot of them anyway. I don't know. I have my favorites, of course.
Yes.
But yeah, this wow, I can't wait. Okay, let's just go inside. All right, we're in the house now. Obviously. And I've got Puppet set up, and now I want to try to explain the story about Puppet. And she's a long-time creation. I think I started her, oh man, years ago.
Wow.
So this is her completion right now today. You're going to watch her completion, because she was never completed. She was put into galleries uncompleted. But I didn't know she was uncompleted until now. I was up for like half the night last night because I could not get this song out of my head. That I took a pill in Ibiza song. You know, the sad song.
Yes.
I just about cried myself to sleep over that song last night because it seems that it just fits everything. I really didn't even know that the song was called I Took a Pill in Ibiza, so I looked up what that meant. And what it meant was the singer had gone on a mushroom trip that had taken him on an out-of-body experience. It sounds like, it didn't say that, but it sounds like something went on where he felt like he was away for 10 years. He didn't feel like he was going to be able to make it back. It scared him. But he feels like there is a message within this incident. So his song is about what I'm about to explain about my sculpture. And it just hits home. So much love to that kid. My motto in life is to wake up and have fun. There's no other goal, and my fun consists of making other people extremely happy because that's really fun for me to do. So for me to give out gifts from my heart, like artwork that I see fit to go in a certain place because I know that it's going to heal a lot of people just by the message that it carries, just because they may walk by and they may just catch the message that it says. The artwork that you have in your home has messages. And the technology that I plan to put in here, I want to share with every single artist out there that's willing to learn it. So I'm going to make free videos for everyone to do. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of video camera in the future. I'm hoping that I would like donations to continue coming in exponentially because I can take $1 million and make it into billions.
Yes.
Overnight, practically. So just with the plans in my head that come in, they're pretty amazing. If I had the chance to have that much money and do with what I would with it, I would cover the whole planet in love.
Yes.
I mean, I really think I could. Very little, because I don't need much. So that's just what I'm asking. If you have a way to help, like if you want to send me copper sheets, I need giant copper sheets so that I can paint on them. I need things like just tools. I need ways to make bronze. I need all kinds of art supplies. The copper sheets is a big one right now. I really need a lot of those. So and the bigger the better, and whatever shape they're in, I can make do. So anyway, that is the end of this update. I'll update one more time, probably, maybe more, just depending on what kind of news comes my way. But this I really hope gets out to everyone.